Damn it.
Meadle, I don't know. I used the, well, we're gonna edit this out.
Okay.
Come to me. I'm gonna have to look it up. This is really important. I'm gonna just cut right to the punchline. I don't have my phone, so I can't even look it up.
I do.
Meat solid.
Metal. Video
It's
game.
metal. Just video game metal.
Metal Hellsinger.
No, video game metal.
That's what I. Metal Hellsinger. It's all about. I don't know what to tell you, man. It's
Metal
not one.
Gear.
Metal
Metal
Gear?
Gear Solid.
Okay.
Metal Gear Solid is the
Oh.
video game. Arizona is a wildly beautiful place, brimming with over 100 brewing companies. I'm Rob Fulmer, the Executive Director of the Arizona Craft Brewers Guild. I'm joined by Deputy Director Andrew Bauman. Together we cover the state, bringing you the best of what's happening at our breweries and beyond. Welcome to Arizona Beer Frontier.
Oh, recording now. That's very nice.
Haven't done that in a while.
It's been a bit.
Haven't not done that in a while.
Oh, that's me over there.
Well, it's all of us.
Oh, wow.
I
This
in
is
a
great.
shot like this where I just try to crib out. I don't know.
I don't know.
So we are approximately 2 days before Real Wild and Woody. Actually, at this time on Saturday, we would be what I like
In the
to.
heat of the moment.
I would like to refer to it as the event meets the waterline, meaning all the areas get filled in. Everybody has got their beverage. No one's running around. It's the first opportunity that everyone settles in, and that's when you kind of understand
And then they
what
can
kind
talk.
of event
Yeah.
it's going to be.
Because the VIP hour is pretty easy. We only had 100 tickets to sell due to parking restrictions. So those were all gone
Right.
early this week or this last weekend, I don't know.
So we didn't get to talk about this event ahead of the event, but I think we've talked about it enough last year, and I think there's enough out there that suggests that this is people's new favorite event. So I wanted to sort of go over kind of what it takes to get to this spot and what we still have left unknown and things we have to work on.
Sure.
I don't know how far back we want to go, but I was here last week. I went to all of our participating breweries, set them up with POS and posters and things that you'll see around town. I also did that for select retailers. I have
Right.
one more that I might want to drop stuff off, but we happen to be at the Mountaintop Tap Room.
Yeah, that's where we are right now.
And for the last couple of years, John here has agreed to be one of our home bases for that. We are also at Hops and Birch. We've got something going on Friday,
That's right.
so I got stuff there.
Flagstaff Liquors.
Yeah,
Stuff there.
Yep. And of course, Mother Road, Dark Sky, Historic, and Lumberyard, and Beaver Street too. Beaver Street not participating per se, but it's the same organization, so I might
Yeah.
put a beer on or something.
Sure.
You have a list. I mean, I don't want you to go over it because it's
A list of breweries?
a list of beers too.
I
don't-
do.
I don't want to necessarily dig into that because it's in the past
Right.
when this will air, but
Yeah. I asked breweries to share with me what beers they were bringing when they signed up. That is always a dicey situation because they want to sign up as early as possible, but they might not exactly know what they're going to have. So
right.
on Monday, I put out a new information notice to all the breweries about some logistical things and said, send me your updated beers, and they have come through on that for us for sure.
Great.
So we've got 75% of the breweries have all their beers listed, and some more have just 1 or 2 special beers listed.
Right.
It's cool.
So we have some challenges though. There potentially is a forest fire, the Bravo fire. How many acres is it consumed already?
Just over 200, and it
Right.
started this morning. So
Yeah.
it's quick. It's real fast, and it's
11
real
a.m.
dry
It's,
up here.
it's 2 a.m. right now, or 2 p.m.
Yeah.
It started 11 a.m.
It's real dry up here. I can feel it in my nose.
Right.
Everything is dry.
Right. It's far away, but I mean, you never can tell. I don't know what the wind situation is going to be like.
Well, it's on the other side of the mountain still, so,
Right.
and across an entire town.
Right. So weather looks pretty good. We're still challenged with a parking issue that we're still working through. The I-17 closure.
I-17 closure on Saturday or Friday through Monday.
Yeah.
It's big.
Yeah. There are routes around it. Obviously, they'll be busy if you can come early or leave late.
I have had a couple breweries say that they are going to come up Friday. They were planning Saturday, but they're not messing
Right.
around. They're coming up Friday. So that bodes well for our meeting being well attended, hopefully.
Right, we have a meeting at Historic on the east side, their production facility. So we have to get this festival on track, and then enjoy the festival, break it down, and then we got a little bit of time to pack, and then we're on a plane to DC.
We have to haul ass back down to the valley on Sunday. Southbound I-17 is not affected this week. Haul back down there, and our plane leaves at what, 8:45? Ish?
8:30
Something like that.
gets in at 4:20. That much I remember.
Yeah, that's true. It
We're
gets in at 4:20, which is hilarious.
We're going to be staying on the southeast side of town, right off the metro. We had success with that in that same area. We're going to be sharing a place with Paul Leone from the New York Craft Brewers Association.
Right.
And maybe we'll, now that we're trying out a new mobile setup and some software, so maybe we'll finally get him on a podcast.
That'd be incredible.
Yeah, I mean, all we have to do is wake up early and just make him
Have
get up.
breakfast, have coffee. Be like, all right,
Wake 'em up.
start talking, man. We also get
Push one of these wireless under the door.
Yeah. Hopefully we get to go to the congressional baseball game.
Yeah.
The Republicans versus the Democrats.
I looked at the weather. It's not going to be as terrible, although it's really hard to understand the effect of humidity.
Greg Stanton's playing.
Oh yeah.
Ruben Gallegos is playing.
Oh really?
I mean, they're on the roster.
Right. I have no way to handicap who is a good player in that of those two. There's a third, right? Isn't there a third you mentioned?
Maybe on the Republican side.
Yeah.
They have a very long list of players. The Republicans do. The Democrats is like half as many people.
Right. Right.
Hey, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Well, I mean, do you want to talk about what's in the news? Because
Let's talk about news real quick.
stuff that's happened in the past that not many people are probably aware of.
Or it might be. I mean, we are nerds like that we keep up with all the beer news because that's kind of what we do.
Yeah.
Keep on top of it for our members and the general beer community. But yeah, what's going on right now with Oscar Blues, Rob?
Well, they have been consolidating. If you're using the corporate lingo, they're managing their production, right? But if you're using everyday language, they're cutting
Cutting
staff.
jobs and closing spaces. Yeah.
So they've actually already closed the Cigar City Brewery, which is a huge blow to Tampa. I mean that put Florida on the map.
Right.
I mean that's a huge blow to fans. And then recently, what did they announce another closure?
Austin.
Austin,
Yeah. Oscar Blues in Austin.
Oscar Blues in Austin, and
The tap room there and production there.
Deep Ellum closed too in that area, which
Yeah.
was that was an ABI pickup,
Yeah.
or was that?
Oh, I don't know. I can't.
All I could say is in the last couple of weeks, I think about 500 jobs went away, in landmark locations. Now, is that a threat or an opportunity? I think our smaller breweries are going to say,
And Lagunitas too,
oh yeah, Lagunitas closed the Chicago facility.
which was huge.
That was huge. That
It
was
was just going to be a warehouse now.
right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that was an important piece of taking that California brand and moving it to Chicago, where the original roots of the founder.
And really just their national, I mean, they've been national, but
Right.
really putting a little more, I guess you would say, investment into the national
Right.
footprint, but I guess taking it back out.
Yeah. So again, threat or opportunity? Well, I don't think they're going to produce. I don't think they're going to dominate less of the chain grocery store market.
Right.
Like, if it goes down, it's going down for everybody. The volume of those kinds of beers. But I mean, it is kind of an equalizer, right? In terms of like, oh, you guys are having problems too. Hopefully, it may be a little bit more balm for the psyche.
I mean, Lagunitas, since they sold their business to Heineken,
Yeah.
have replaced a lot of the original sales staff and basically the culture makers. And the word on the street, I haven't been there, I haven't talked to anyone directly, is that, yeah, it's definitely changing or has changed dramatically as far as culture. And the days
Right.
of fun and the days of making fun of getting high and music
Right.
festivals, that's long, long, long gone.
Getting high. They were one of the original. Didn't they
Yeah.
do Undercover Shutdown Ale, which
They're,
had
yeah,
to do with a little pot smoking at a.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're big in the weed ethos.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that mic's going in and out. Well, we have the backup mics.
We do. We have the backup mics. We have
Before
several
I get
places.
to Anchor, it's interesting, Monster in general, because they I don't know if you remember this. This was probably 13 years ago, 14 years ago. There was a brand called Rock Art. It was distributed out here from New Hampshire. They had a brand called Vermonster.
And it had a Coco Pelli on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they got a cease and desist from Monster Energy Drink, and I was among the people who said, "What the fuck? They're never going to get into alcohol, let alone beer, right?" And I mean, I don't mind being wrong about that. It seems if you have this context now, it seems very weird that happened.
Yeah.
So they, by all accounts, on their energy drink side, they're a different kind of company in terms of supporting their brand ambassadors, i.e., people in all kinds of esports and like
Extreme.
extreme, and but
And
on our
like
side,
Godzilla.
yeah, on our side of the fence though, they're closing breweries. It's a little jarring. I know we know the brand manager there. I know she's done a really good job of talking about how all those brand families have come together, but I'm sure the message has got to change on that. It's going to be, I don't know, maybe it won't be rough at all. Maybe nobody cares about
Cigar City and
cigar. I mean, it was a get brand out here. Like, it never really got out here.
right, it only got out here when they picked it up.
Right.
And then it was only in mixed packs.
Right, yeah.
You can get High Life 6-packs around though, I think.
I haven't seen them.
I've seen them at some point. I don't know if you can today, but
Yeah,
I've seen them out
yeah.
here.
So that'll be interesting to track and see how they. To me, I mean, whether you care about buying beer in the grocery store or not, it is a barometer for all of us. So even if you're not buying from those places, take a stroll through and kind of see what it looks like. And you're going to be surprised on one hand that of some brands that you didn't think you could pick up there, but I think you're mostly going to be surprised by the products that are just pressed down on us.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely missing so many huge Arizona brands,
Right.
and then just rando brands from across the country that you're like, what?
Right, or the fake brands that are pushed forward by the grocer.
Right. They're house craft brands.
Yes, I'm noticing that you can no longer buy bulk shredded cheese except for the in-house brand.
Huh, interesting.
You can buy the little Sargentos. You can't buy the. Yeah,
Don't
they're
just shred yourself. It's better.
just saying. Potato chips. There's a Lay's look-alike
Yep.
that they're pushing.
Oh, you are speaking specifically of Kroger.
I'm being diplomatic about it. But,
Okay, sorry.
I mean, it's not like you don't know. Like
I
everybody
didn't
doesn't
mean
know.
to out you there, but they're the biggest on the house brands. I mean, I know Safeway Albertsons also does house brands, but
Safeway Select.
yeah,
Is there
for
a
sure.
brand?
Yeah,
It's like Kirkland
simple organic.
for Costco.
But the Kroger brand, the Kroger chain has a lot of those.
Right.
Like every product, there's
Right.
a house brand.
Great. Incidentally, again, I'm pushing off on the Anchor a little bit, but it was a grocery store matter. Did you hear where Walmart is going to sell Modelo at some loss per case
I did.
because they want to be the leader of
Modelo sales.
Modelo sales?
When you think Modelo, think Walmart. That's what they're
Pretty
aiming
much.
for.
And
$12 a 12 pack,
yeah,
and that's a loss of like $12 to them.
yeah, per
Wild.
case.
Wild. $12 a case they're losing on.
Yeah.
Okay. It makes you wonder why people with money are the ones that have the money.
Well,
it's weird.
It's the thing of it is definitely going to influence and ensure that Modelo will be the top brand across the board in the next couple of years. If it isn't already, it will more than dominate.
yeah.
And it's just I hesitate to say this because I don't support the idea of it, but we're a country where we don't like Mexico, we don't like their people.
It's so wild.
And we are literally choosing.
Close the border. I don't feel safe in my home, Rob. I love that commercial.
Right. Yeah.
Not love that commercial. It makes me so mad. I don't feel safe in my own home. Well, that's because of our open border.
Right.
Oh my God.
So let's talk about Anchor.
Great. Oh, happy Pride Month to those who celebrate, and to everyone else who doesn't celebrate, also happy Pride Month to you.
Yeah, we missed Ferris Bueller's Day Off Day, and we missed Cheese Day, some burger days.
Yeah,
When
burger
we were in
day.
the office, you would tell me these things, and now I have to learn about them on my own, and I'm usually too late. Oh, it's like 12:30.
Well, I've been focusing so hard that I haven't had time to find these random bullshit things either.
Yeah, well, it's been pretty unifocus on the messages this event.
Yeah, I've been spending so much time making social media posts, I can't even believe it. Just like, but cranking them out, being pretty happy with the way sales are going, and yeah, cool.
Right. But we haven't. I had to string together. Oh, by the way,
Oh,
this is the first episode of season 3.
what the heck, really?
Yeah. 'Cause
Good
I
job,
did-
us.
The last episode was at Four Peaks with Four Peaks and Lumberyard, and it was 104, 52 weeks of the year. This is season 3, so welcome to season 3.
Wow.
Yeah. And we're trying to keep this streak alive because,
Against
Yeah.
all odds, because man,
I mean, any one of these things we could have done 20 minutes on, any one of these newsy things.
I think
but-
as soon as we get back from DC, we have a little bit of a recovery time, right?
Right. Yeah.
Till August when we have to go to Madison.
Yeah.
And then we also have Wickenburg Oktoberfest in late September.
Yeah.
But that gives us a space to breathe that we haven't had since January 1st, really.
Right. Yeah. So I want to get a good 25 minutes out of this first segment. We're going to try to record a little bit at the event, right? And then maybe on the first day of our trip.
Sure.
But by Tuesday, I got to be able to pull this together. So I'm going to make sure that it sounds great, and I'm going to care less about the visuals because the YouTube thing isn't as popular as the audio, and
All right.
can understand.
What kind of numbers are those? Just kidding, I don't want to know. Some other interesting news.
You still want to talk about Anchor?
Yeah, Anchor.
Anchor, yeah.
The owner of
I bet against it.
it ever, yeah, I think I was on that side too. Like, why would anyone do that?
Right. So the owner of Chobani Yogurt.
They do it because they have more money than they know what to do with. So they buy a dead brewery and try and revamp it. But that's
Right.
what happened when Fritz Maytag bought it, right? It was
Right.
in pretty bad shape, and
Right.
he turned it around. Who knows?
There's a lot on this guy. I haven't really. There's a Wikipedia article. He's done a bunch of TED Talks. By all counts, he says he's for the employee and building community, and that seems to work in the yogurt space. And it also helps if you're the category leader. You can sort of get away with that. But he's not going to be the category leader in beer. And if I'm going to bet again,
Young, scrappy startup.
and be wrong, he's not going to be the category leader ever
Chances are slim.
in beer, or craft beer,
Or
even
California
beer.
I mean,
But I mean,
you ever heard of Sierra Nevada?
yeah, good feels though, right? I mean, like again, it might be. So all these bads, there's a little good there. I don't think that Anchor is in any position to take over any handles here in Arizona right now.
There's
Right.
still a ramp up time, and there are people who own bars who have love for that brand, man. They just have a nostalgia for having Anchor steam on, I guess.
Right.
I mean, that's what I drank when I was in college.
I remember not liking it, and then going through the BGCP exam and sort of sit down and
Critically,
going through it and
oh.
understanding the difference in the hops on that, and just really enjoying the rustic taste of it. But
It was the only beer that was available in Lubbock, Texas at the Lone Star Oyster Bar that was a craft beer, so I drank it.
right on.
It was that or Budweiser or Miller Lite, maybe
Right.
Coors Light. They only had ice cold fishbowl mugs,
Yeah.
fish bowls. That's what they had. That's what every beer was served in. So they kept 2 Anchor steams on the back counter for me.
I like that. In the last 2 podcasts, we're going to hear a train.
It's neat.
I have to get some B-roll of the trains.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, so they would pour my warm beer into a cold glass and everything would even out.
it would foam up and
It was all fine.
yeah. Yeah, I remember going to some march many years ago. I was on the job. I remember going to Bike Week in Cave Creek
Oh, sure.
and just getting this just thick ass mug that was just coated in freezer burn, and just waiting for that thing to just stop foaming.
Uh-huh,
And
yeah. I
warm
mean,
up.
this was at least a 20-ounce bowl, so if I poured my 12-ounce Anchor Steam in there, it was fine.
Yeah,
It worked out.
yeah. Do you remember when
Creativity, innovation, my friend, just like
Stella was
ASU.
pouring in chalices? And it was all the rage. Not for me. I knew that one piece of information. Refrigerated mugs are not good.
No. The refrigerator is okay, I guess. I don't know, man.
Right,
Whatever.
right. What do we got?
We have the BA release production numbers. I think Arizona was down about 1,000 barrels out of 200 and we had 209 last year. We had 207,438 this
So
year.
our numbers were like down by 3%. So if theirs is less,
But there are a couple that we don't have.
right,
Yeah.
right. So, but as we observed, I don't want to call them out, but there's 5 or 6 brands at 40% growth, 30% growth, 58% growth. So, just because the overall numbers are down doesn't mean there aren't people enjoying success. And they're the people who you probably think that are enjoying success, because the exterior things that they do, their presence online, their storytelling, like if you know
Yep.
those things are good, then you know those brands are usually doing
Right.
okay.
Yeah, communicating your story is such a big deal, which is why the grocery stores, you look at those beers and you're like, what is that? I don't even know what that is.
Right.
And you can't find your favorite beer because they don't have time to mess with small producers.
We have time to touch in on the legislature. And oh
Oh.
yeah, you can always interrupt for a beer. I'll have the same thing that I just had. And
I'll have that too. Wait, there's a pale? There's a pale.
Tombstone West Coast IPA.
I have a hazy pale from Brent House. It's their Little Spell binder, or Little Spell, I believe.
Little Spell.
It's awesome. It's hop forward, very hazy.
I'll have that.
Well, John, while you're
While you're
here.
here.
Tell everybody who you are, and we'll ask you some questions later.
All right. Hi, I'm John Bates. I'm the owner of Mountaintop Tap Room in Flagstaff, Arizona. Yeah, and this is what I do. Just this little building here.
Give people beer and
Hand out beer and try to support local artists, music, art, and some events we do too.
Right on.
I see all the pictures you have up around that all have price tags by them, which is nice. Love that.
Absolutely, it's been a cool community space for local artists to jam. We've had a bunch of bands come out of here, which is super fun to see. Just a community develop. We've been doing it for 3.5 years, and we're not stopping. So.
Sweet.
All right. That may not have worked, but we'll
No,
fix it in
sorry
post.
about
We'll
that.
figure it out.
Appreciate it.
No. I mean it's this thing is. Yeah.
Why not go?
That's okay. Everybody wants, right, in their life.
I know you do. Sorry, Rob. Let me talk into this non-operational microphone.
What were we talking about?
We're talking about production numbers.
Right.
And we don't really have access to all the individual brewery numbers through the BA. We have
We can reconcile it. It just takes a while to step through it. A common thing is for breweries to report barrels instead of gallons, and vice versa. It's and a small brewery once in a while will show a marked decrease in the amount of beer produced, but it shows up if they're barrel aging. Like, it won't show up in a bigger brewery like that, but in a smaller brewery, it can
Right.
like literally have the amount.
Yeah.
And like, it just depends on when they do it, because if they do a quick turn on it, it just extends it to the next year, and those numbers can swing pretty wildly.
Yeah, that's true.
But we were on a roll with something else. I can't remember what.
Oh, well, we have Slow Body
Slow Body,
in Tucson.
Tucson, yeah.
Their tap room is not open yet. However, they do have beers and package at Tap and Bottle downtown.
Right.
They're having a big party Friday, Saturday. It'll already be in the past, so it's not like
Right.
this is going to be an invite. Anyways, they are up and running. That's pretty cool.
Right. And that's the space that is going to have all these plants, because it was a meat packing plant, and then it was taken over as a residence by people who were part of Biosphere. I called it
Thanks,
Biodome.
man. Biosphere, not Bio.
I know.
Oh, let's cheers.
So I'm having the Tombstone West Coast IPA because it was the second on the list, and I didn't really want to read very much.
This is Lil Spill by Wren House, and it's a hazy pale ale, 4.6%, and very hoppy, and quite some hop bite on there. Exactly what I like. It's nice.
I wasn't even going to talk about mine. It's just a crisp West Coast,
There you go.
and that's
Good job.
all I want to think about.
Super.
So is it little or lil
It
spell?
says Lil. Lil Spill.
Lil
Lil
spell.
Spell. Lil Spell.
Lil spell.
Like Spellbinder, but Lil one.
Right. Yeah. I wonder if they're going to have big binder.
They should. They need to get you in the naming game. We went to Spellbinder Day. I'm sure we went over that on the podcast. And there was a reason I was bringing that up. I talked to someone about going, over at Flagstaff Liquors. I was talking to Stephanie about
Right.
how they had so many different varieties, and they, up here at Flagstaff Liquors, man, they have a lot of Arizona beer.
That's a good looking place.
It is cool.
Set up well. They got a nice little patio.
I said, like, there's nothing alcohol related you couldn't buy there. It's everything.
Right. You can drink wine and beer there, but they don't have draft. So you just tell them to crack your can for you, and I mean, it's not a giant warehouse. It's a larger space, so it's not like you need an entire beer to navigate the thing. But there's a nice patio. They have a humidor.
They do.
Cigars.
Yeah, big into the cigars there.
That was the word I misheard the other day, and I can't remember how I misheard that. Humidor. I don't know.
I don't know either. Maybe
It'll come to me.
maybe it was in like Yugoslavian language and you didn't hear it right. Is that what
Right.
happened? I don't know. All right. Barrio Brewing Company was awarded the Foodist Award of Brewery of the Year for Arizona.
The Foodist Awards are sponsored by the Restaurant Association.
That's the Arizona Restaurant Association.
Our good friend David DiLorenzo of Ambassador Insurance, aka Bar and Restaurant Insurance, has a hand in that. I think he announces some of the awards.
Yeah, I think he helps with the judging and
Just does what he does.
Yeah, does
Supports.
everyone around him.
Yeah. There was also another winner from that award.
Arizona Wilderness Brewing Company won Best Vegan Dish with their banh mi.
Wow. A vegan banh mi.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
I can see it. I mean, you can do anything with vegetable protein these days.
Yes. TBP.
There was a Twitter post from Kate Bernat. Kate Bernat is used to write for Draft magazine. Used to live in Phoenix. Is a Chicago native. Lives in Missoula, Montana. Writes for a number of publications. Has a Wall Street Journal byline. Is on a podcast with Beth Demon. What's it called?
No, not Sightlines.
It's just a hot take, single subject podcast, which I thoroughly enjoy.
Yeah.
But I can't think of the name of it. Because all theirs are like the one with the national sales numbers, the one with, all alcohol is flat, or whatever, the numbers and stuff. But anyway, she posted something on one of her things she was researching, and there's a brewer's notes about using meat solids. Yeah.
Okay.
And so I responded, I've already done she's like, let's not tell brewers that this is a thing. And I responded, I've already concepted the entire brand, and I said I used the Full Metal Jacket, or Full Metal. What was it? What's the video game? Something metal.
Damn it.
Needle. I don't know. I used the. Well, we're gonna edit this out.
Okay.
Metal
Solid.
Gear.
Metal
Metal
Gear.
Gear Solid.
Okay.
Metal Gear Solid is the
Oh,
video game.
I've
It has
heard
a
of
font.
Right.
So Metal Gear Solid would be Metal Beer Solids. Because meat solids. That's going to be a hell of an edit. I'm going to cut all that out.
Perfect. Hey, Rob.
Can't always get him. Oh, we didn't do this. Andrew Bauman.
Good to see you again.
Welcome to the Mountaintop Tap Room.
Thank you.
I think we
It's
can
so
recreate
great
the
to be
entire
here.
show so I could nail that joke.
We'll just start right over John.
We do have to bring John back here first, just because this mic was out and I do want to have him say what he had to say. I will tell you, if you come here on a Monday night, if you have the fortune to be in Flagstaff on Monday night, they have a open mic. They have a number of people who are known to show up. Bluegrass, Americana, folk, right? I think this place is pretty packed. I know it's happening with the young kids, Andrew, because your son was here, and I walked in and he tried to pretend he wasn't going to buy me a drink. He was doing the motion and he was kind of doing it low, and I'm like
secret.
I'm like, no. And then he bought it and walked away, and then he tried to.
You know what's in with the young people if
Yes.
my son's showing up.
Newly minted drinker.
That's right. That's right.
But
Oh, I went to the Noble Herb when we got here because I forgot my sleepy weeds.
right.
That place is beautiful. Have you been there?
No, I went to the old one.
Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous.
The old one was on the way to my house from the freeway.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. It has a roll-up glass door that is open, so you can walk up to the dispensary, and you can see everything inside. You can walk right in. You don't have to go through like the double air gap doors like you do at every dispensary that I've been to before.
Right.
There's not a security dude standing there. There's actually weed out on tables, like packages.
Are we sure we're not gonna get them in trouble? Because I don't know. I think that's kind of.
Well, you have to scan your ID to buy when you walk in.
Right.
Like
No,
I walked in.
I'm talking about having product out. I thought that was like a. Maybe it's just a
It could
industry
be.
practice.
It could be fake. I mean, there are tins of edibles, but I'm talking about like a table entirely full of these tins.
Right.
They might just be display.
Okay.
Oh.
That's fair.
But they do have like flour in set like display boxes on the walls.
Right.
Those are covered. Those have glass in front of them.
Okay.
I don't know, whatever, man. It's pretty cool. It was amazing. Beautiful place. Can't believe it.
Oh, I do have some state legislator news.
That's true. Wait, so legislative?
Legislative news. Yes.
Okay.
As of 2 days ago, the liquor consensus bill passed. That is the vehicle which, over the last 10 years, no, more like 8 years, since we had our success with SB 1030, getting the cap raised, allowing breweries to sell 20% of other brewery beer, to allow for collaborations, and also to give a nice boost to anyone who's opening a brewery who doesn't have the capacity that will just get destroyed their first 2 weeks and be down to one or
A lot
zero
of beer,
beers.
and now what do I do?
Right.
Yeah. Or if you're in the opposite position of Slow Body and
Right.
you get your tap room open before your brewery's ready to go.
Right. Yeah.
That happens a lot.
Right. I know there's a lot of pride on the line, and I know that there's a huge demand from a certain segment of customer to have only their beers on, and I'm going to tell you that's terrible advice. You should open
When you can open.
You should open when you can open, to put money in your pocket and
Yeah.
stop losing money. Secondly, you should use that opportunity to embrace the customer, meet them where they are, work the experience part of it. If you have a beer on, great. If you have no beers on, it's still okay. You need to train all your employees on the POS. You need to. That's the first opportunity to tell your story as to why it's not open or why you're not.
Don't have your beer on right now.
And where
Sure.
where it's at, and
Yeah.
the law change, how this is something that's unique to Arizona somewhat to be able to do this.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway.
And to establish relationships with some of those breweries.
Right.
Chances are you're going to be getting self-distributed beers coming in from your buddies anyways.
Right. Or you can do the collaboration part.
Do collaborations, for sure.
So anyway, the bill passed. We didn't necessarily have anything in that directly helped us or originated with us, but there were some important things for the Restaurant Association. And anytime we can agree with the Restaurant Association, that's a no-brainer.
Restaurant
in fact-
Association has a very powerful lobbying group.
Right, and generally they don't take our success as a direct threat to them, whereas some other entities may. Not always, but we also had some things with the cities and towns, which I knew were going to be inevitable, that something was going to change. We adamantly put our foot down on one particular issue, and we had that stricken from the bill. Like, it was only us that objected.
I mean, it was only us that objected on the record.
Yeah. The bill coordinator, Steve Barkley from the Beer and Wine Distributors of Arizona, tried to make sure that we enjoyed some anonymity about that, but
It didn't work out.
No. I mean, I was like, no, man. I want to know it was us, because, like, I'm going to tell you, if that prohibition on basically the cities and towns have staffing issues, and they feel great burden in approving these things because they feel like if they approve the wrong license, they're going to be the big losers. And you either have faith in license holders as a general group or not. Like, there are some bad actors, but that's not, no city is responsible for that, in my opinion.
Right.
Those are just bad actors. Like, nevertheless, I do feel for the hourly employees that don't have a lot of resources, but they wanted to make it harder for us to get extensions of premise, and we literally went through the quintessential example. Nobody knew we were going to be in the World Series, not even the Diamondbacks. How can we possibly take 90 days
to get an extension?
To get an extension premise? And you can get them ahead of time, but why would you pay for something? Why would you burn that time and resource and money to get that on the off chance that?
You can get them ahead of time, but again, there are things that are. The Diamondbacks being in the World Series, that's definitely one of those good examples. But outside of that, there are people who want to do charitable fundraising for people that their house burns down.
Right.
And you definitely can't go ahead and apply for that license 90 days ahead.
So there
and
was
also, it's already an existing license holder.
Right. And they already make it hard for us to get licenses, and they have other mechanisms for preventing a business from opening with a liquor license. So, oddly enough, they're not supposed to hold your liquor license hostage over any other issue other than, do you qualify for a liquor license?
As a liquor licensee.
Not zoning, not parking, not anything else. But they do it
constantly.
Yeah. So we had that discussion, and we'll have that discussion again. So we let some of this go. Because they put a clause in that said there's nothing in the statute that prevents the city from issuing a license, irrespective of all the things that they wanted in the bill. So now I call it the anti-asshole clause. It's like, oh, so now you have the ability. It's right here. You have your procedures. You have your policies, but you're just being an asshole because you understand this is not the same thing, because they treat events of all sizes exactly the same. Like, if I wanted to put, a small patio for a table and 2 chairs, they treat it the same as closing a parking lot and
having 5,000 people on a field by Salver Fields. It's
Right.
all the same according to them.
Right. So
according to statute.
So we put that in, and they agreed, and the bill failed initially.
It didn't fail. It didn't get out of committee, right?
No, it got out of committee.
Got voted on.
It got to the House. It was through the Senate, almost unanimously, and a representative who's not running for office. And there's, I'm gonna, for our own internal purposes, I'm gonna go through all the nay votes, and write a hypothesis as to why they feel that way. It didn't initially pass. It eventually passed, but it still had more no votes than I've seen in the last 10 years total.
Yeah.
Right? Because it lost 17 or 11 votes in the House, and
they said some pretty,
7.
that dude.
Yeah, so it's Farnsworth. He's not running again. He's part of the Freedom Caucus. He didn't understand that Some Burros was a Mexican restaurant in his neighborhood that had a liquor license. Like, it's been there for 35, 40 years, right? Something like that. I mean, that's in your district and you're just learning about it. He was upset about
The
something.
only reason that they had anything in this is because they have a liquor license, a restaurant license.
Right.
And they were just having trouble with their 40% burden. Not because they weren't selling enough food, but because
The cocktails to
in
go.
a single day,
Right.
they might not have done 40%.
So if you have a number 12 license, you have to sell 40% food. The question that the Restaurant Association wanted clarification on is over what period,
Right.
right? A lot of people thought, well, of course it's a year.
It's a year, but no.
But it may not be.
Right. It doesn't say you just have to sell 40%. Like, does that mean on every check?
Right,
Because it could.
right.
And if an inspector wanted to
Right.
look at it that way,
So
could
they
do that.
introduced the concept of it, and most of us didn't see the reason for it until it was explained, and we sort of came around. I mean, it's one of those things like, yeah, we're going through that too. Is it happening now? No. Could it? By the letter of the law, yes. So yeah, we want to fix it. So he got bent about that, and the fact that they wanted to say, oh, and we wanted this to be retroactively fixed, because now, like, there's 3 years of cocktails to go,
yeah.
and so now they wanted to say, well, we're working under the best intentions. The law wasn't clear, now it's clear. We don't want to be held to the old standard.
Right.
So it had retroactivity, and that was
Only till January 1st of this year, though. So
it was presented in a way,
Yeah.
and that legislator made it sound like, he said, the only reason we have a liquor bill every year is to enrich these lobbyists. And I'm like, I'm a lobbyist. I don't get anything extra out of this. In fact, I get a lot of extra aggravation about
Yes.
it.
a lot of extra time that you have to spend that we could be doing other things, and no
Just
money,
wanna-
$0.
Just want to get stuff solved, right? So they picked up a bunch of votes from the Freedom Caucus because he is retiring. He has a life-threatening illness, so he's going out like this. And there was also some testimony by another legislator who agreed to vote yes, but said something about the inconsistencies and the fact that there are progressive business laws that involve alcohol, which he supports, but we are also, in his words, seeing record DUIs, and I don't think that's based in reality. I think those are actually going down.
Well,
Could
they're
be wrong.
probably going down because the Arizona Department of Public Safety is at 50% staffing levels on uniformed officers. So
Okay, so my point is though, that's for those law enforcement to testify about, to work with us. That's not our responsibility.
right.
It's also the liquor department's job to do that. So that kind of caught a couple Democrats, and so now we have this Freedom Caucus and concerned about health Democrats, which this was
Prohibition, baby.
a very non-controversial bill.
Right.
And
And again, we in this year for like the first time had nothing that was
we had some
directly.
we had some wish list stuff. We got bounced out of it, so we're going to go back and try to reposition.
we have some
our
new
ask.
stuff to do this year though,
Right.
for sure.
But I was part of a group of 5 people who got the bill. So it went down,
Like,
but there's a thing called reconsideration. If you have someone who votes no against it, and this is sometimes why a bill sponsor will vote against their own bill. So
to
they
bring
can
it back later.
So they can make a motion to bring it back later with an amendment, and it has to be done within 24 hours or something like that. So we got a Democrat to
Request.
motion, right, and it was specifically because if you impugn this group of 34 people and you paint us all with the same brush, this process has equalized things for the smallest players. I'm not just speaking for our breweries, I'm talking about distilleries, wineries, individual businesses, through their trade organization can raise objections. It is the process for writing the best bill. And if not from us, then who? And I would say there are people who are in that group that are pure lobbyists that don't have the same background as you and I do in working with our members and understanding their industry. But by and large,
especially when Monster or Budweiser flies someone in from New York
right,
or Amazon.
Right. But by and large, we're there to give it the sniff test until it was exactly that with the extension of the premise. I'm like, you're telling me that none of your members would not have enjoyed, if they had the opportunity to have a extension of premise during the World Series, if it had gone
to
to
be
Game
able
7.
to make that happen.
Yeah, you're saying that they don't care about that. I guarantee you they do.
They do.
I said, and the person that we had to get this over this objection said yes. Camila also talked to us because she doesn't like. So they deferred. So it was good. The process worked. We could have had a bad law that we would have been fighting over for 5 years, and it would all been about who has the most money and who can persuade. It would just be this back and forth pendulum. Anyway,
there's always things going on in the legislature that we have to keep our eyes on, and
right. And by no means, because the reconsideration concept had not really been a thing. It's a thing. It's because the other bill that we have supported is the hemp regulatory bill. Because I was calling it the legalization bill, but it's federally legal. This is a regulatory bill. This is Arizona's opportunity to say, yeah, we do want only people with 21 to be able to consume this, not anybody, because it doesn't say anything about it in federal law, and there's nothing in state law. And we want to make sure that we're clearly marking the packages, and we want to make sure that there's no cross-contamination, and we're not serving military, airmen, commercial aviators accidentally and ruining their careers. So that is up for reconsideration. That bill might be heard right as we are releasing this podcast, and we'll be in DC. So I've said more than I would ever say about those bills. So there you go.
Yeah. So much work to do. I got to get a map made.
Oh yeah. We already have enough for an episode in and of itself.
Great. Of course we do. That's how we roll.
But we're gonna do a little snippet.
Oh, you do have a little bit to cut out there, though.
Yeah. No, what are you talking about?
No one's gonna know. It's fine.
Seamless. All right,
Rob. Cheers.
Hey, you still have another beer here.
I'm done with that. When I'm done with the beer, I'm done with it.
All right.
I don't have to drink it. It's not a law. You can throw away any beer you pay for.
Yeah, that's true.
And you never have to be sad about it.
I agree with you.
All right. That's enough. Hey, Rob. It's not a podcast about beer.
It's not a beer podcast. It's a podcast about beer. I need sometimes for you to say it wrong for me to remember the correct order.
You're welcome.
All right. Although, just let it roll for a second.
Sure.
I'll keep it rolling.
It is rolling, but I figured maybe you should use this.
Oh yeah, you might want to say something. It's going now. I just wasn't watching it. Hey John. Oh wow, nice. That's a look of the trade. Yeah, that is he's got a spill and.
Oh, lucky guy.
Right. Hey, I mean, somebody had to be the first guy that had the blue jeans with his burnt out knees, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It could be you. It could be you. You are
the mustard stain's coming around next.
Setting new
he's
standards
wearing
of
a
fashion.
green 21st Amendment shirt and a spilled beer. Is that
bussing table spill or pouring beer? Or?
No, I was eating my lunch. I wish I had like a good reason for this. I was eating we have hot dogs here, so I'll just promote it. I'll plug that. No, spilled mustard on my shirt, and here we are.
Right on.
This is the aftermath.
So
You recovered well.
we might have
Hold it
to
down.
re-edit your introduction, but you are John with Mountain Tap.
You could say it.
Yeah,
I'm John with Mountaintop Tap Room here in Flagstaff.
right on.
Yeah.
And I did mention after we talked a little bit about how you probably have one of the most rockin' Mondays here in Flagstaff, and it's all community based, and
Yeah.
you are a supporter of the arts because you have art and up for sale, and you have is this an open mic with a couple known suspects, right?
It's come to be known as Mountaintop Mondays. It is a strictly like musical singer-songwriter or full band open mic nights. Every Monday we throw a $5 select pint special throughout that night to bring in the crowd, and it is so much fun. We consistently fill up, so if you're a musician who wants to play in front of a crowd, we can absolutely guarantee that. And on top of that, it's been really cool to see. We've started to see like general managers of bars and restaurants in Flagstaff come to scout at it, and that's what we want. We want it to like be the place where you come to try and get a gig, whether it's with us, we promote through it, or other places around town too. It's been really fun.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I was accused of waiting my turn to play, and I just look like a guy that's gonna play. I am not a guy that's gonna play.
I'm just sitting next to this guitar. It's not mine. It's not mine.
No, it was more the hat and the beard, I guess. I don't know. I just had that look.
Yeah, fair.
You were wearing a Western blue and white checkered Western shirt.
Something. I don't
And
know.
it had the little circles of
Well,
embroidery.
and then some rando dude bought me a beer, his son. So that.
Oh yeah, I am describing specifically a shirt I know he wears a lot when he comes up here.
Right on. So yeah, thanks for supporting our event, and
Always,
in year
yeah.
2, we had a shorter sales cycle. We had a shorter, but we'll get over that hump, and we'll try to bring more people in. I did talk to you about this, right? We are going to retool Arizona Beer Week, and we're going to get more retailer involvement, and
Right.
we're going there will be different membership groups and representatives from each group that will be on a board, and we're going to try to really push that, such that if we have the relationships and the apparatus, we can promote anytime at all, and be regional focused as well.
Yeah.
The organization, because we own the trademark, will be Arizona Beer Week, but just because if there's a successful string of days here in Flagstaff, it's us, it'll have another name, but it'll be that organization that
Yeah,
Yeah.
helps
Together.
move it around. Sure,
Absolutely.
and gets people together and organizing. That's the thing.
yeah,
Of course.
writing good things about the businesses. We'll hopefully have some better content on the site.
Oh, sure. Yeah, no, I love when, there's been years where like Beer Week, at least here, is super prominent, and you just you hear from all these breweries that
Right.
are coming to town, and it's super fun. We haven't done as many tap takeovers in the last year as we have in years past, but they're so much fun. So if that's what Beer Week looks like, count us in, or however you need it. But
It's really just responding what the businesses want, and I think the days of you have 40, 39 taps.
Yeah.
I think the days of taking any significant portion of that are long gone. I think that even the consumer would agree with that. But I think targeting certain groups of handles, there's really nothing you can't do. Like if you just said, hey, we don't have one brewery taking over, we have a theme, or we have
We're having a black IPA contest.
that's
Do
just
that for me, okay? I will drive up
You have to
here.
drink
I will be
all
here
of
for it. I will drink every one of them. 10-ounce pours. 10-ounce pours.
Heck yeah.
I'll pay more though. I'll pay the same price as a pint. Just give me 10 ounces.
right. It's really whatever you want to do, and I'm looking at some merch, and
Yeah.
like if you want to, it doesn't have to be beer. It could be the hot dog thing. It could be whatever you want to do. Because I was like, hey, here's our options for lunch, and I said, Mountain Top has hot dogs, but that's all I have. But they're really good.
I was like, yeah. And then you brought him out, and he's like, just the right amount of burn on the side there.
Yeah,
you gotta keep them
there's
crispy.
nothing
Yeah, it's
worse than
true.
a cold hot dog, unless it's refrigerator cold, and then like
It wouldn't be a hot dog if it
No,
were.
I know,
think
I
It
know.
would just be a cold dog.
I did, yeah, that was a perfectly prepared dog.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Been cooking dogs for 4 years now.
On
and
rollers?
Yeah.
I've been roller dogging for.
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
So what we're at the it's officially summer.
Yeah.
It was officially summer. There was no spring really, was it here?
It was fast.
Get in the mic a little bit. Sorry.
They just closed the ski resort, so I think
Yeah,
winter
June
just
1st.
ended.
Yeah.
Winter ended in June this
How
year.
long have you lived up here?
5 years now.
5 years,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, 2019.
This is
I came down.
probably the first time in 5 years where you could actually see snow on peaks in June.
Gosh, could you see it last year? We had so much snow last year.
So
I want to
much.
say we did, but I don't.
I think
quite
it just
made it that
I think
long.
it just all of a sudden got
It dumped in January and February, and then it just.
A friend of
Yeah.
mine, bless his heart, I don't know how he did it, but he skied on July 6th, which is his birthday.
Right.
But it was on the north side, tucked away in the shade.
Right.
So it's still there. It's just,
Yeah.
it's very
right.
rare.
Right. Hey, it
Yeah.
looks like you got some customers.
Yeah,
and we'll catch up with you later.
Thanks, John.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
You
man.
Good to
bet.
meet you.
Thank you.
We went through Tahoe one year on July 4th, and it was closed. You had to have four-wheel driver chains on the highway
Yeah.
through Tahoe.
Well, there's a
I had a four-wheel driver.
In
I had a
Montana,
Subaru
there's,
Impreza, bro.
there's-
Brand new, first year it came out.
in Montana. Around Missoula, through the Bitterroot Mountains. There's a pass called 4th of July Pass, implying that's that period of a couple weeks around 4th of July, and the only time it's open.
Wow.
But
I don't need that kind of snow in my life, man.
yeah, we need the snow in our life because
That's what gives us water in summer.
right, and also it means the earth is not burning up. Anyway, we'll figure out how to place that little nugget.
Yeah, nuggets.
All right,
Nuggets
let me
of joy.
Shut this down.